What is it about high school coaches that kind of hits different in the sense of where they get you in your life that might have been different than college and pro, because you're just such a different man at that period of time in your
Yeah,
development?
yeah. Well, first of all, you're such a kid at that time, and I was one of those people who had obviously had a great talent, but didn't understand how great it was and what I could actually do with it. And he taught me how to believe in myself and to understand who I really was and why it really mattered to be an upstanding person, and the way you handle yourself off the field was just as important as how you handled yourself on the field. And he was also my gym teacher, so he was right there at school. So if anybody had a problem with me, all they had to do was call him, and I would get out of class. He would get me out of class if he had to straighten me out and make sure that I was doing the right things. And I just feel like, my dad was so instrumental in my life, but your dad can't be everywhere. He can't always be there for you. And my coach was definitely there for me. He would call me at home. He would talk to me, and he really built me up at that time, because even though I was maybe a great athlete and people were starting to tell me that, I was still fragile as a person and as a player.
That can be hard too, when so many people are telling you like, hey, you've got a bright future. We think NFL for you, and you're 15, 16 years old. Like,
right.
I'm just trying to hang out with my friends after class. Like, does that kind of get to you as a high profile athlete looking at, Division I schools and possibly the NFL? Like, does that impact how you think of yourself? And maybe you have to like kind of check yourself and realize that it takes a lot to get to that point?
Yeah, number one, you have to check yourself. But number two, you will be checked. It's like I went to the Big 33 and I was like, man, I'm about to just do all this stuff. I'm about to show the world how great I am. And there were some great players over there. And I remember breaking away on one of my runs and I was thinking, oh, I'm going, and then I turned around and I still had company. I'm like, yo, they right here with me. These guys were fast. And all those guys end up going to college as well. So there was just great players. And as you go along, and like when I went to Notre Dame and all of a sudden I'm there with Tim Brown, and I'm like, God, I'm looking at this guy, he's awesome. And then I'm seeing all the great players that we had there, and it puts you in check. So you will be put in check either whether you want it or not, but it's really good when someone is a mentor and can kind of get you ready for that and prep you for that so you can handle it as best you can, because you're still going to not do it the way I would do it now, right? Looking back, hindsight is 20/20. But as a young guy, it really helped me to have coach in my corner like that, for him to be able to call him, to be able to call my dad, and to be able to ask them, did they see the game? Did they see what I'm doing? Different things. Am I doing it right? Because you're still not so sure about yourself. I know I wasn't as a young man at that time.
Do you find yourself like fortunate? I feel like most guys, even that get to the league and like, they have whatever career that they do, that you had like, for the lack of a better word, historic figures each step of the way, whether it be high school level. And then obviously you're talking about like Tim Brown at Notre Dame, of course, of all schools. And then being in San Francisco, like I feel like almost luck is a part of it, getting these surroundings. But does that sort of hit you while you're in those moments?
It didn't really hit me as much while I was in the moment. Yes, of course, I'm like, wow, this is crazy, but I have to be ready. And I gotta be kind of have tunnel vision at that point. I can't really look at all the things that are going on. But yeah, definitely having those players like that made my career so outstanding. When I really look at it, I mean, I don't know many people who have had a grade school championship, a high school championship, a college championship, and then a Super Bowl championship. That's obviously not just me. That is great coaches. That is great teammates. That is great mentors, guys that show me the way, guys like Jerry Rice, guys like John Taylor. I mean, I had so many great mentors along the way. Ricky Jackson and those guys came to our team later, but for that Super Bowl year, and guys like Dion, who came, it was just like so cool to play with those guys, but also to show that I could play just as well with those guys, and I could be a viable part of our team and actually have a part in winning that championship, and to score 3 touchdowns like that, what can I say? I mean, that was just a dream come true. I remember at the time when it happened and thinking, man, it was almost surreal. I was feeling like, man, I might wake up and realize I'm still sleeping right now, and the game didn't even start because it started so well for us. But it actually did happen that way, and I'm just very proud of the way I played that day and the way I was able to handle myself throughout my career.
I feel like if you were to host like a housewarming party, you would have just a ridiculous amount of guests like show up to your house. Would it be like that? Would be like the most exclusive ticket. It'd be like getting into Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but like times 10.
Oh, it would be so cool, man. I have so many people I could name. I could be a name dropper if I wanted to.
I was gonna say this is your platform if you need to. This is it.
You know, guys like Jim Brown. I mean, I could just go on and on about the guys who have helped me and were a mentor to me and gave me kind words just when it just seems like just when you need it. And they could not know this, but it's just like, just at the right time, maybe I'm starting to wonder, am I really, cut out for this? Can I really make it? Or cause guys, like I said, as you go up, you start seeing, man, all of a sudden I'm not winning all the races when we're running. Here guys faster than me. I got Rocket Ismail out here. He's burning up the track. And I'm like, holy crap, where does this guy come from? But I'm glad he's on my team, that kind of stuff. And, having guys like Tony Rice, and we just had so many great players that I could name. Man, and obviously with the 49ers, that was just a star-studded team. I would put that team up against anybody, any era, bring it on. We're ready. You're
like, take me back.
Take me back, baby.
It's interesting talking to you, listening to you talk about the guys who impacted you and the mentors and things like that you had. And we know back here in Harrisburg, there's so many guys who point to you and say that you're the guy they look up to. You're the guy who's helping mentor them. We know your relationship with LeSean McCoy, fellow Crusader. That's strong. We think about guys like Micah Parsons right now and the rookie season he had. What do you think about some of these guys who have come out of Harrisburg? I mean, you started it, and now they're continuing that legacy.
Man, to have a guy like LeSean McCoy think about me like that, my man Shady, hey, look, Hall of Famer for sure, great career, great guy, love him to death. Man, Micah Parsons, man, look, I grew up a Cowboys fan. It was crazy. I loved the Cowboys, and then all of a sudden they became my nemesis playing against them in the pros. And of course, I watched that game, man, and that guy, man, he is the truth. There's no doubt about it. As long as he can stay healthy, he will be there the same as LeSean McCoy. In my book, I believe it. He goes end to end. He has that motor like I had, that you just are ready to go at all times, and he never looks tired. Doesn't even look like he's breathing out there. And he's making plays. And the fact that they can put him anywhere, he can cover a running back, he can cover a wide receiver. He's out there making plays everywhere he is, and he's harassing the quarterback. It's just a lot of fun to watch him play.
It's interesting because even talking with Micah before the draft, and him being the highest drafted Harrisburg guy out of here, but you obviously doing so much, and then LeSean doing so much, he was talking about just sort of the hope it puts into kids later on, and how that's sort of the main focus and why he feels most proud of this area. For you to sort of put that on the radar, and then seeing that these kids more and more now believe in it, whether they come from rough backgrounds or whatever it is, what resonates with you on that front?
Man, that's what it's all about, man. And I am very proud to be a part of that. I'm proud that they think of me like that. I'm proud that I was able to put my city on the map. HBG, baby, Harrisburg, I love you. And I love the fans that are there, the people that they still follow me to this day. They're telling me, man, you should be in the Hall of Fame. Someday it's gonna happen over. I pray, and I meditate on it and everything. But I really appreciate the way people are back there, and the fact that they still are so passionate about the things that I'm doing. They're writing me, they're sending me messages. When I put something out on social media, they're hitting me up. I see you, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Happy to see a guy from Harrisburg make it and do the things that you're doing, the way that I'm giving back, the things that I'm doing, with my company. I'm able to, do so many great things to help people. And it's just an extension of what people gave to me and the way I was raised that makes me that way and makes me want to be a better person. Each day I wake up, I want to be better tomorrow than I was yesterday. And I just want to be the best that I can be in every way. And that I learned in Harrisburg.